If you want to support the channel, you can use code tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 10% off on your aluminum accessories at TC Evolutions. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. ¿Eres de México y necesitas cartas de Pokémon? Busca Hyperbeam Cards en Facebook e Instagram. Y si estás en Tijuana, búscalos en el local C27 en el centro comercial Otay. Alright, here we go. Decentish start, not really great to allow us to Mirage Step, but Battle VIP Pass gets us to Ralts. Could consider going into Rotom. We have Candy Gardevoir along with a Kirlia, so not terrible. All Ralts are available, which is good news. All Kirlias are also available. Did prize an Iono. Priced the Jirachi, I believe. Not sure what else. Priced one Energy. Alright, so nothing too bad. Priced a couple level balls as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and attach just in case. I have the Candy Guardy, I have the Kirlia. Could be going up against a lot of different decks. Seeing that that Squawk probably means Roaring Moon. That's usually the only deck that plays a combination of Greninja and Squawkabilly as of late, and we do see Galarian Ultra Z and more Pekos, so no Galarian Moon, no Roaring Moon. We do see the draw of the Greninja. Now this is usually a very good matchup for Gardevoir. You trade very effectively as long as you're able to set up, right? That's the priority. If you're able to set up, everything's good in the world. If you're not, then that can be problematic. However, my opponent will be getting a very aggressive turn 1 and knockout. So now I'm kind of regretting attaching that energy to the Cresselia, but not really much I could have done. Very weird choice that they had the attack set up and they chose to go Moltres instead of Moon to be able to take advantage of that whilst they had it. So very peculiar choice, and we only see one Roaring Moon, so every single support Pokemon that this deck runs is now on my opponent's bench. So we'll see how that ends up working out for my opponent. Definitely an interesting choice. Alright. Alright, so we do get judged out of the hand we had. No more supporter for me. And this is how you can beat Gardevoir as Roaring Moon. Just make them dead draw. As long as we stabilize eventually though, should be in a fine spot. As long as we don't fall too far behind, but this is definitely a really good start for my opponent. Not that we're gonna miss the Cresselia, but more so that my opponent gets a knockout and we can't do much. Like, we don't have a great draw to try and like retaliate. And I priced 2 level balls, which makes even attempting the Pokestop that much worse. Which I'm probably still gonna have to, but alright. So I do find a boss. I think I'm just gonna go for it. It's risky-ish, but okay. I do get an Ultra Ball, which, I mean, sort of helps. Alright, let's go Refinement away the Jirachi. I mean, the Manaphy might be the Pokemon I go into. I'm gonna get rid of the Boss's Orders. I think that's a fine card. Alright, took a rare candy. Not the best. My opponent didn't have the strongest start in terms of energy, so the counter catcher might be something that allows me to actually, this is actually not terrible. I'm 1 energy away from getting a return KO here, which would be pretty cool. So you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna establish the Guardy. This lets me see 2 more cards ideally a supporter. I can also get a knockout. Let's go Shining Arcana. Alright, Iono. Very nice. So let's go Artisan, get another Ralts into play. I honestly might just attach this and retreat. Definitely want to try and stall for a turn. And then Iono for a fresh 6. Alright, so weird sequencing decisions for sure, but it ended up working out. Can't complain. And pretty decent follow-up, I would say. Gonna get a Ralts. And honestly, I'm just gonna go into the Mew. Yeah, that seems solid. Just go into the Mew and retreat. There's no point in hitting for 150 if I'm not taking a knockout, whereas this protects my Guardy. And then as long as I get 2 prizes next turn, that's gonna be good enough. So I'm gonna grab the Ultra Ball that guarantees the Gardevoir EX. I don't have a lot of energy in play right now, or a lot of Psychics available rather. So I'm thinking, I mean, I kind of like the Sashin. So I'm thinking I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna preemptively, well, no, you know what? I'm just gonna grab a Kulia. Just trying to thin as much as I can, and then probably bench the Sashin and just power up the Gardevoir. Just to get more energy into play. If my opponent goes after the Turprizer, like this could be a move that costs me the game, in a sense. Also getting rid of the stadium, but we'll see. We'll see. My not so great hand definitely merited some interesting or peculiar decision making. Now they are down 1 switching card. Usually that deck only plays 2, 1 switch card, 1 escape rope. They could go like super turbo. They do have their V-Star still. They do have their V-Star, so they can probably get out of this no matter what. Alright, I will take this Iono very happily. That means the Mew is going down, and I am more than okay with that. Absolutely more than okay. That Sashin could be my demise now that I think about it though. Because my opponent will take a knockout this turn, and then I will need to evolve into this Gardevoir EX to take a return KO. And then they will need a lot, but they could go boss KO in order to win this game. So we'll see. We shall see how this pans out. I took decisions I needed to take with the start I got. So, alright. Here we see the Galarian Moltres V. And the V-Star has been utilized. Alright. Energy attachment. And they do go for the escape rope, so yeah, I should let them get 1 prize card instead of 2. I'm regretting benching that Sashin so much. So much. I mean, we'll see, right? My opponent just might not have enough attackers. Overall, it did prize an Iono, so that means I only have 1 Iono left at this point in time, which is not a good thing overall. Now we're down to 4 prizes. Yeah, if I didn't have this Sashin, I'd probably almost have this game won, but that is unfortunately not the case. All right. So let's go ahead and get energies out of the deck. Don't need to really find them with Shining Arcana. I'd rather just find other stuff. I'll also go ahead and grab myself the Kirlium. And yeah. Then I'm gonna go ahead and Mysterious Tail first so that I get an item card out of the deck. And I get hopefully better draw.
or better cards off of these refinements. Didn't grab the counter catcher in case I get Iono'd again. My deck is also running pretty low at this point, so I don't think I ever whiff. Alright, I do have the reversal energy, so the Moltres can revenge KO my Gardevoir, right? No problem whatsoever. Dang. Alright. I really think I need to Iono for sure next turn. So I'm gonna play the worker now. I'm gonna Shining Arcana for 2 more cards. I'll take the energy, sure. There's the Gardevoir EX. Alright. So I mean, to not get revenge KO'd by Morpeko at this point in time, I think this is worth it. And then we're gonna go ahead and evolve. And it's finally time to start attacking. 1 energy on each. That's enough for the KO. Alright. So the two price Pokemon is the problem, right? Because if I didn't have the two price Pokemon that my opponent could go boss KO, then if they knock out this, then I don't need to set up another one. I just use the Guardy. And if they knock out the Guardy, then they're down to uneven prices and I can go 2-2. So this could be costly. This could definitely cost me the game benching that Sashin. Probably wasn't worth it when I did it, but live and learn, right? Live and learn. Okay. So we see the Mew. My next attack, in order to preserve the Kirlia availability, is probably going to be through Screamtail. Although, yeah, my opponent could go boss KO. Alright, that's gonna be the play. Boss KO the Gardevoir EX. Alright, this is actually fine, because now I don't need another Gardevoir EX. I have 6 cards left in my deck. I can draw them all and I can Iono. So then my opponent's gonna need to find a Stadium, a Roaring Moon, and 3 energies on the Roaring Moon. That feels like a really, really big stretch, right? That has to be a real big stretch for my opponent to close out the game at that point. There shouldn't be a way my opponent pulls that off, I don't think. So I'm gonna go ahead and conceal cards. Okay, I was gonna say the sooner I find the Iono, the better, because then that allows me to use my remaining abilities. All right, I'm just gonna put these 2 back. Allows me to use my Refinement and my Shining Arcana after the Iono, which is fantastic. And all right, so the game's gonna come down to, well, if they don't get a KO, I need a boss to win. If they do get a KO though, so maybe just benching the Screamtail is better, actually. Probably benching that is just overall better. I'm gonna attach the energy. Where? I have 3 energies. Right, I'm gonna attach the energy to the Greninja so it doesn't get trapped. And I'm gonna Iono now. I have 2 more abilities. I know I'm not finding any of the cards that I just had. No shuffle chances, which is honestly fine. Oh wow, I found 2 energies. Interesting. I mean, there's a universe where they play a Roaring Moon down with enough energies that I can't KO, maybe? All good though. Right. So putting back the rolls was definitely silly on my part. We're just gonna do 300 damage, get the knockout, and then if my opponent goes boss KO the Kirlia somehow to prevent the Gardevoir EX, the active Shining Arcana Gardevoir can win the game with Counter Catcher. If they knock out the active, all I need to do is Gardevoir EX, Screamtail, knock out the Squawk. So off of 3 cards, my opponent needs a Roaring Moon EX, 3 energies onto it, a Stadium, and a Boss's Orders. There's 2 of them, right? Although this is definitely, okay, interesting choice. They could have used Greninja, instead they chose to attach the energy. Restart for 3 has to be exactly Dark Patch, Boss. Any other combination, well, there could be a Pokestump somewhere down the line. That's the only combination that wins my opponent the game right now. Immediately kept the card though. Oof. Well, I have a bad feeling. Double energy switch, that's not useful because there isn't a Moltres in play right now. A little worried though. I'm a little worried. Energy switch. A little more Pico. So clearly they're not going to attack this turn with Roaring Moon anymore, and they go for the research, right? Oh wow, they had Boss and the Dark. They were 1 Dark match away. That is sick. They were so close. They were 1 card away. How many Dark patches had they played before this one? They had played only 1 Dark. Wait, was that their second Dark patch? Oh wow, they had only played 2 Dark patches, so they definitely could have pulled this off. Absolutely could have pulled this off no matter what. That was a little too close to for comforts, yeah. Now, however, we're just gonna go ahead and retreat with 2 Psychics, promote the Screamtail, go ahead and evolve, and then snipe the Squawk ability for the game. So yeah, benching the Zacian was most definitely a mistake. If I had not benched the Zacian, my opponent would not have had an opportunity to win the game that turn, and then all I would have needed would have been to essentially be patient and win the exact same way, except with no window of opportunity for my opponent. So that was definitely a misplay I made. It didn't end up costing me, thankfully, but it certainly could have. So very cool that it didn't, and we were able to walk away with a win. This is usually how this match will play out, as long as that Zacian's not on the bench. Roaring Moon, as long as you start applying pressure to them before they're down to 3 prize cards, you should be fine. But if they find Boss KO, that can be a problem, which my opponent was able to do. Which they won't always be able to, but my opponent was able to. On to the next one. Alright, so we are going first, which is potentially good, potentially bad. We don't have a great hand. Overall, I think this is a Mew hand, just based on our current situation. We don't have a way to guarantee the the Mirage Step, so I will commit to the Mew. Ideally finding Battle VIP pass, right? That would be the dream. Otherwise, the Fog Crystal, sure, it finds me the second Ralt. So we're gonna take a chill turn of sorts. No energy prize, 1 Guardi EX is prized. Didn't notice anything else prized. Like immediately at least. And alright. So Manaphy start. My opponent did choose to go second, so with seeing the Manaphy, my first intuition would be Charizard. My second intuition would be maybe Tina. The Artisan pretty much confirms that it is indeed Charizard, which is another good matchup. Overall, as long as you start attacking when they have 4 prizes left. If you start attacking when they have 3 prizes left, that's when things can get a little dicey, but overall, I'm liking my chances, honestly. I guess the one thing that I would change would be, I didn't know what I was up against. I did see they won the coin flip and they let me go first. So that's why I chose not to start with the Ralts. Like, it could be Charizard, but it could also be something else. Now they do Artisan for the Mew. playing down the switch, so that's no longer an option in case that ever comes into play. We find an Ultra Ball, so neither of us found Battle VIP Pass off of the Mew, which is probably what they were going for as well. Now that Ultra Ball, if it is Charizard, which we still don't know 100%, could get them Luminion for Arvin for Battle VIP Pass plus 4 Seal Stone into another Battle VIP Pass to get Charmander, Pidgey onto the bench. Is that worth it? Could also get Charmander, Pidgey, Rotom, right? And no, they're just gonna Iono instead of playing that Ultra Ball. Feel like if they had the Iono anyways, they might as well play the Iono first and then the Mew. So that was poor sequencing by my opponent. I want to say we see the Pidgey, we see the Rotom, but we see no Charmander. So even further delayed, which is fantastic news for us because my opponent also did me the favor of establishing the Artisan, and this top deck I just got could potentially allow me to use Cresselia to snipe the Pidgey. Now, is that worth it? That's a different question. I'm gonna say no. So obviously that would be very nice and I could threaten another Pokemon or whatnot, but overall, the way at least I like to go about the Charizard matchup is just be patient. Yeah, actually allow them to take 2 prizes. I did not mean to click Mysterious Tail, I meant to Iono and then Mysterious Tail. So like I like letting them take 2 prizes, and that's when you go all out into attack mode. Yeah, that's how I like to play about that matchup. I definitely meant to Iono before Mysterious Tail though, so that's my bad. That's because I'm talking and I got distracted. That's how I like to go about it, just because that allows you to have like a very strong setup on your board, and then you are able, very nice, and then you are able to like respond with a Shining Arcana Gardevoir on their Charizard, and then if they knock out your Gardevoir EX, you just knock them out again with a Shining Arcana. If they knock out Shining Arcana, you can go in with another one or the Zacian, and then the price trade-off just works out very nicely in your favor, no matter what. Yeah. All right, so extremely strong start. All I want right now is essentially to make my deck better. All right, that's everything. That's all I need to do is just make my deck better. Thin out the bad cards, get energy into the discard pile. Just make sure I am ready for that Gardevoir EX, Shining Arcana play, KO, etc. So we'll see. Yeah, we will see if it ends up working out that way. Hopefully it does. Now they have Pidgeot, which is gonna make the rest of the game a lot smoother for them. So like I said, there was also merit to going after the Pidgey. Yeah, I could have gone very aggressively, Rare Candy, Gardevoir EX, get the Crest, discard the energies, and then I would have been 1 energy away from, no, that actually I would have had enough to snipe the Pidgeot, which definitely had its merits. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, definitely had its merits, but I also like this slightly chill, yeah, and still be aggressive. So best case scenario is they just go Rare Candy Charizard, knock out Mew. You know, like that's the dream, if you will. You know? All right, so getting everything I possibly want, which is fantastic. Just getting rid of energies, making sure I have everything I need ready to go, enough energies, probably super odds available so that after they KO Aculia, I can immediately recover. So yeah, looking pretty good. Honestly, looking pretty darn good. Even more energy to a discard pile, which is really, really great. And I can also Mysterious Tail. So like I said, I'm just making my deck have basically only good cards. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, and I'm gonna take 2 turns to do so. I don't become a 2 price deck until I choose to become a 2 price deck. So best case scenario, my opponent goes knockout Mew, and then knockout a Kirlia, right? Or find my Kirlia, that's completely fine. And that's when we respond. Now with enough energies in the discard pile, there is merit to me going after, or me trying to just initiate the price trade myself and recover Sashen and get ahead that way. But I don't think it's necessary, honestly. I really don't think it's necessary. So there we see the Charizard EX. 4-card hand, hasn't used Pidgeot yet, so could see a Pidgeot boss KO. That would be like annoying. And it could respond, right, with Sashen Gardevoir EX. Is that ever worth it? Yep, there's the quick search, so probably gonna go for a boss's orders onto the Kirlia, which is completely fine. How many energies do I have in the discard pile? 7 already. So I don't have enough to KO with Sashen, and I don't have the reversal to KO with Guardy, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're gonna go Lost City the Kirlia, which is understandable. Lost City the Mew would be really funny. Okay, this is equally as funny. What the heck? I mean, I guess they're scared of the Screamtail plus the tool? That's the 8th energy as well? Wow, okay, well, that was the second worst target, right? The worst target was Mew, the second worst target was that one, so we will take it. Yeah, we will absolutely take it. With the Lost CD gone, I definitely feel confident that I can just, I mean, all I need is an energy, right? Either a Psychic to knock out with Sashen, or a reversal to knock out with Shining Arcana Guardy. And I just got the Psychic, which is really good news. I did not, however, find Counter Stadium, which is fine. I have the Worker. I will use that instead, no problem at all. And this is what happens when all you have left in your deck is really good cards. Yeah. Really good cards. I can also even Mysterious Veil before I Shining Arcana. Could have done this earlier, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Like, I'm gonna commit to the KO because now I shouldn't need to worry about Lost City. So I can easily go Sashen, Gardevoir, Sashen, and then win the game outright that way. So that's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna go Sashen. Sashen is also less easily KO'd by the Silly Charmanders, right? Which is good news. And then we're gonna go ahead and evolve. This also keeps the most amount of draw available for me, which is also something I'm trying to do. And also something very important. And I believe that is 9 Psychic Energy available, which is great. And just attach all 9 to get the KO. Yeah. That will leave my Charizard in range of Charmander, but honestly, if that happens, I have Counter Catcher and Boss available to just chase these 2 down and win the game outright. So if I lose this game, I'd be very surprised. Yeah, that means my opponent was playing something that I was definitely not expecting, like possibly a second Lost CD. Like I generally can't even come up with something like second Lost CD, because I did prize 1 Gardevoir EX, so they could be like second Lost CD, knockout Gardevoir EX, and then somehow also knock out Sashen, which there's no possible way for them to do. Now I do feel like attaching this energy here preemptively is worth it in case I do get Ionode, and then we're gonna go Storm Slash, get the knockout, and we win in 3 turns. Yeah, that's what this game comes down to. We win in 3 turns. That's it. Why my opponent chose to knock out the Screamtail instead, I truly have no idea, but that is what happened. All right. Let me see the Charmander, which I am out of range of. Unless they play like a choice belt or a Vitality Band onto it. They still have their V-Star. They still have their Pidgeot EX's Quick Search. Putting back energies and Charizard EX. But I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards in my hand. And my opponent did not Iono. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about my chances to win this game. We're gonna see an Ultra Ball. There is a possibility to go Counter Catcher KO. If they go Counter Catcher KO 1 prize card, which they need a Charizard to do, I use Sashin, knockout, down to 2 prizes. If they go Counter Catcher, knockout Gardevoir EX, I use Sashin, knockout, get 2 prizes. If they knock out Sashin, they're at 3, I'm at 4, and I use Shining Arcana, whilst super arting back to Sashin, and I'm 1 turn away from winning. So even though the game is still 5 to 4 prizes, even though my opponent is still doing stuff, I don't think there's a universe where I lose this game. I really don't think there exists one. I would need to fall out of my chair and hit myself in the head. I would need to lose power right now. So, and this is the sort of situations that you want to get to, of course. You know, my opponent did nothing wrong. Yeah. Maybe the sequencing of the Mew with the Iono was off, right? They were probably holding on to Rare Candy, and that's why they chose to do it. Like Rare Candy Charizard or Rare Candy Pidgeot. I think you still go about it the way I explained. You want to use Iono first, you look at the top 6 cards, and then without shuffling your deck, you use Mew to look at the next top 6 cards. That means you're essentially you're looking at the top 12 cards of your deck to find a Battle VIP pass. That's the dream, right? That is absolutely and almost certainly the dream, you know, what you want to accomplish. So, all right, my opponent did use Charmander with a Vitality Band to get the knockout, which is perfectly acceptable. The Sashin is still available, which is perfect. I am behind in prize cards, so we're just gonna go ahead and take another 2 prizes. And here's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm gonna go Refinement away the Greninja, and then Refinement away the Manaphy. Right? I want to put myself out of Charmander range, basically. So I was looking for this, which is pretty fantastic, and then I can go Super Odd, put back only the Sashin as the only card in my deck. This is where they bench Chiyu, attach energy, and deck me out. That would actually be pretty funny to see. I really don't think there's anything my opponent can do at this point. Sure, let's get rid of you. Let's keep the Sashin in the deck. I have an extra attachment. I can definitely bench this Cresselia. Well, I'm not going to, just in case. All right, so I have enough energies to retreat anything, right? I have boss's orders as well. So I really think I should be good here. I just need 3 energies. So in a world where my opponent goes boss the Gardevoir, pass to try and deck me out, then I can just attach 2 energies, retreat, oh no, actually, I mean, that would be a way, I guess. That would not allow me to get 2 prizes. But yeah, I could just retreat, so that doesn't really matter. Yeah, my opponent's at 3 prizes. My Gardevoir is out of range of Charmander, so they need to evolve into Charizard. And then they know my last card in the deck is Sashin, right? Charmeleon does get the knockout, right? Charmeleon does get the knockout. Oh, okay, that's fair. That is fair. I have the Sashin. I don't have the boss's orders. Was there anything else I could have thinned? I could have definitely, okay, now that I think about it, if I had put back Sashin and 1 Psychic, and then use Shining Arcana, or 2 Psychics, and then use Shining Arcana, or if I had used 1 Super Rod to put back 2 Psychics, and then the other one to put back Sashin, then I would be out of range of the Charmeleon. So, well done. Yeah, well done by my opponent. They will be able to get the knockout, and they will not be ahead in prices. So Counter Catcher is no longer an out. Could have played down the Cresselia for sure. That would be 1 less card in my deck. Could have played down, could have played Super Rod, I guess. Or could have chosen to discard the Cresselia and keep the Greninja and bench that. And that would allow me to see extra cards. So I could lose. I definitely could lose now. I actually can lose if my opponent has Charizard and Boss for next turn, and I whiff the Boss myself. So, alright. Well played by my opponent. This is almost the final turn of the game, most likely. It comes down to, can I... Well, actually, no. Never mind. Well, I top deck the Boss, but if I just knock out the Charmeleon, I guess there's Radiant Charizard, right? But I just got the Sashin and the Boss, so that's game over. But if I just knock out the Charmeleon, right? If I just knock out the Charmeleon, what do they do? What do they actually do? Yeah, I mean, my opponent definitely not happy that I just have the 2 cards. They knew I had the Sashin, right? They definitely knew I had the Sashin. It was a Boss that was missing. That's why I thinned a bunch. But if I knock out the Charmeleon with Guardy, right? So Shining Arcana Guardy, or even Gardevoir EX. If I knock out with Gardevoir EX, then Radiant Charizard becomes a threat, right? So I would have needed either Shining Arcana plus Knockout, and then as long as I don't damage my Guardy, it's not threatened. So overall, I think I definitely had the game won, but well played to my opponent trying to find every out. If they had benched that Charmander, then would have been a lot scarier. Unfortunately for them, I top decked the Boss. Low chance of that happening, but I was going to see 4 more cards with Kirlia, and I also had a Shining Arcana Gardevoir in there. I had the Iono to see an extra 2 cards in case I didn't find the Boss, deny them whatever they had, and just knock out the Charmeleon with a single price Pokemon. If I had benched the Cresselia, I would have had 1 less card, and I could have knocked out the Charmeleon guaranteed without having to use a Gardevoir as well, or finding it. So I had a lot of outs, a lot of options. I still stand by the fact that I definitely would win that game 10 out of 10 times, no problem. But that last play definitely had me on the rope. Yeah. Interesting game. Thanks so much to my opponent for playing. Thanks so much to you as well for watching. Hope you're enjoying the content. I am actually really enjoying playing and recording again. And today is the second day of Knoxville. Hope you're tuning in as well later today to watch the regional. I'll be casting there, so definitely tune in if you want to hear out my commentary, and I'll see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye.